Hello and good day. Welcome to our video channel, God's Promises. And today's video will be Psalm chapter 73. Let's get started now. Psalm 73 is a prayer of Asaph, one of the Levites appointed by King David to lead music in the temple. Asaph was a skilled musician and composer, and his psalms frequently expressed his deep longing for God's presence and his faith in God's goodness. Psalm 73 is a reflection on the problem of evil, and how Asaph's faith was tested when he saw the wicked prospering while the righteous suffered. The psalm begins with Asaph acknowledging God's goodness to the pure in heart, but then he confesses his own struggle with envy towards the wicked who seem to have no trouble in life. Asaph describes how he was almost envious of the arrogant when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Psalm 73 verse 3. He was troubled by the fact that the wicked seemed to prosper and have no worries, while the righteous suffered and were plagued with trials. Asaph admits that he almost stumbled in his faith, as he considered the prosperity of the wicked and questioned whether it was worth being righteous in a world where the wicked seemed to be rewarded. However, his faith was restored when he went into the sanctuary of God and saw the ultimate end of the wicked. He realized that their prosperity was temporary, and that God would eventually judge them for their wickedness. Asaph then turns his attention to his own heart and recognizes that his struggle with envy had been foolish. He acknowledges that God is his portion and his strength, and that his ultimate desire is to be near God. Asaph recognizes that the prosperity of the wicked is fleeting and ultimately meaningless, while the presence of God is the true source of joy and peace. The psalm concludes with Asaph expressing his faith and trust in God. He declares that God is his refuge and that he will tell of all God's works. Asaph recognizes that God is sovereign over all things, and that even though he may not understand why the wicked prosper and the righteous suffer, he can trust in God's goodness and justice. The teaching application of Psalm 73 is that we should not be envious of the wicked, but instead trust in God's goodness and justice. It is easy to become discouraged when we see the wicked prospering while the righteous suffer, but we must remember that God is sovereign and will ultimately judge all people according to their deeds. Our ultimate desire should be to draw near to God and find our joy and peace in His presence, rather than in the temporary pleasures of this world. Furthermore, the psalm teaches us the importance of community and worship. Asaph's faith was restored when he went into the sanctuary of God and saw the ultimate end of the wicked. Similarly, we can be strengthened in our faith when we gather together with other believers and worship God. It is important to seek out the fellowship of other believers and to regularly attend worship services, where we can be encouraged and reminded of God's goodness and faithfulness. Finally, Psalm 73 encourages us to examine our own hearts and to confess any sinful attitudes or thoughts. Asaph realized that his struggle with envy was foolish and that God alone was his ultimate desire. We too must be willing to examine our hearts and confess any envy or jealousy that we may feel towards others. Instead, we should focus on seeking God's presence and trusting in His goodness and justice. Thank you for visiting us today. Please share with us your favorite Bible verse below in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help our channel grow. Looking forward to see you back here for our next video. Always take good care.